Hey everyone, it's Whiskey Wednesday. We're going to put an inlay in milk paint. Do you think it works? I don't know. Gert is already here. So hi Gert. She says DIY Connie and Wilson. DIY Gert.
DIY.
So I have the paint inlay. And we're going to put that into milk paint. Someone commented on my YouTube that I should have, because it's really interesting to see what the paint inlay looks like in the milk paint. So we're going to try it right here tonight. And we have the 12th night inlay, which is really fun. It has this Santa in it, this big Merry Christmas. It has a deer head here, this wreath. It's got these fun deer over here. It's got all of these labels. And we're going to try something with one of them, only because it goes really fast. And then we got to let it dry. And I got a couple other projects when we let it dry. But we're going to do this one right here, which is this one. So we're going to put this on these boards. They're glued or nailed together. So I bought them at a thrift store for 68 cents. And someone went through a lot of work for 68 cents. So we're going to put some milk paint on here. And hopefully we have some chipping. And see how it works. So let's cut this. What did I do with my scissors? Oh, Lordy, I thought oh, here it is. I had everything ready. Okay, so we're going to cut this. I'm going to use a grid line back here. You can use a grid line, but make sure you don't cut what you need off. So that's that one. And then this one is really cool. So I want to use this one. It's in red. I don't know what it's going to look like in red. And I want to put it on a white croc. Not a painted white croc, just a white croc. Does not have paint on it. You think it's going to work? I don't know. But that's what we do here, right? We go for successes and failures. But hopefully tonight we don't have any failures. So I am using the Bespoke collection from JRV. And this is Sweet Pickins milk paint in antique ironstone. So this has got a little bit of brown tone to it, kind of like the same color as this back. So if we have some chipping, that would be okay. And then I thought it would show up really well on this antique ironstone. So we're going to mix this up. And then we're going to let it sit for a bit. So we don't need a whole lot. And when I mix up a lot, I end up painting something else. Okay, so there's that much paint, or yes, paint. And then you normally use equal parts of water. but I'm going to use a little less than equal parts of water. And we're going to go from there. We're going to mix that up because I want it to chip. So I want a little bit thicker paint. Hopefully I get thicker. And so we're going to mix this up. Oh, I didn't get thick. I wanted thick. It's thicker than normal, but I'm going to make it thicker yet. Yeah. Okay, so let's add a little bit more powder, paint powder, to this because I want it thick. There's two reasons why you want it thick. It will chip more and you don't have to wait the 10 minutes. But you also go through more paint this way.
Sheila says hi.
Hey, Sheila.
Sandy says hi, Connie and Wilson. Happy Whiskey Wednesday, DIY.
Hey, Sandy. That was Sandy.
Sandy.
Happy DIY.
Lisa says happy Whiskey Wednesday, DIY, Connie and Wilson.
Hey, Lisa, girlfriend.
Hi, Lisa, DIY. Yeah, now
You're caught up. Okay, this is not your normal milk paint. So it's very, very thick. That's what I wanted. Now I don't have to wait the 10 minutes. And I'm hoping to get a little bit more cracking. But we have to put an inlay in it. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I have to make sure my inlay is all ready. My water. Okay, here's my inlay. I'm going to mist my inlay on the paint side. And then we're going to put on the milk paint, and then we're going to put that paint inlay right in top of wet milk paint. I don't know if it's going to work or not. This is an experiment, guys. I'm putting it on pretty thick because it's very, very thick paint. Again, you're going to use more paint when you do it this way. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to let you know if this works or not. If it doesn't work, then you don't have to waste the paint. I did. All right, this is antique ironstone. Looks really good. Has a really good coverage. It's nice and wet. And now we're going to put it in the paint. Sure we are. Whoa. You have a little bit of time to work with it. Not much, but some. All right, so we have that crack in the board. It's going to cause us to not have good adhesion right there, but that's okay. Now I'm going to mist it. And now I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to make sure I have really nice coverage. And I'm getting that all sunk into that board. This is the IOD brayer, which I love using it for my inlay because it makes sure that you get everything squished out of there, all the air bubbles squished out. All right, we started right in on that. I have enough left here that I can do my sides, and I might as well do them. I got time. We're gonna just paint the sides too. And then this is going to dry. And I probably have enough left. I could do some small project if I wanted. After the live is done. And what I could do so that it would last a little bit longer is add some water to it, which I probably will. I'm going to mix some water in there. All right, that is done. Let's mix some water in that. Now I'm going to mix water in here and make it like normal milk tea. Because then it's going to last until my live is done, and then I can paint a small project. So I don't have to throw it away. Because you can always use antique ironstone. It's the best. I love this color. So what I do is I wrap up my brush and then I put a baby wipe over top of my container when I let it sit. So now it's going to sit and wait for me. And this is going to sit and wait for us. Oh, I'll just pick this up. So we'll see if that works. Now I don't know if this is going to work. I have antique ironstone all over. What's new? All right, this is a little croc, and it was 78 cents at my thrift store. Looks like I'm a little too bright. It was 78 cents at the thrift store. So if it doesn't work, it's okay. It's an experiment. But what we're going to do I'm getting milk paint on my. We're going to put an inlay on here using liquid patina. So I'll get to comments as soon as we let these dry. So here's crystal clear liquid patina from DIY. And we're going to take a brush. Where did I put my little one? Oh, it's right here. We're going to put this Merry Christmas on there. And we're going to see if that works. Anybody do this before? Right on a croc. No paint. Just right on the croc. I know it works for a transfer, but I don't know if it works for an inlay. So we're going to find out. So for an inlay, you can also use liquid patina instead of the paint. So that's what we're doing on here. We're putting liquid patina on here. We misted the transfer. And now we're going to lay it right in the liquid patina. And now this one, you want to mist with water. And then, of course, we can't use the brayer. So we'll just go over it with a baby wipe, making sure that everything's down, pushed into that liquid patina. And then we're going to pray this works. Okay? All right. Now I'll read some comments. I have another project too. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right, we have Carolyn here from upstate New York. Welcome, Carolyn. Sandy Wilson already read that one. And Gert says, oh no, I think I'm going to ruin it. Brenda says, oops, I'm late. No, you're not late. Lisa's on here. Sylvia from Backyard Brushes says, love learning from the risk you take. I know, right? Like, why not just do it live? Yeah, let's just make a big mistake while we're live. Jackie says, hello all. Welcome, Jackie. Becky, hello, late. You're not late. And DIY, she says, Wilson. DIY. And who else we got? Luann is here. Love that you're always willing to try anything. I am. I want to see if it works. First layer of paint, not the second. Is it because your paint is thicker and covered better? I don't know, Sylvia. I don't know. It was really thick. You couldn't see through it. So I don't know. We'll find out. And Marla says hello from LA. DIY. DIY. Wilson's already done with his drink. I just started mine. Sylvia's saying hi to Marla. Lisa, happy DIY. DIY, Lisa. And Marla says, I'm excited to see if it works. I think it should. I think it should too. We'll see. And Luann says, have done it on glass with liquid patina. You have? So it works? I love that you're adventurous. Adventurous or crazy, one of the two. Carol says, hi, Connie and Wilson, DIY. Wilson, that one was yours, so I read that one for you. Say DIY to Carol.
DIY.
Gert says, it's going to come out great. DIY. Anne says, love your channel from North Carolina. Welcome, Anne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanda says, love your crafts from Texas. Boy, we got everyone around here today. All right, we're going to close up this liquid patina. And I do have a project waiting for us to do a transfer. I don't need that brush anymore, I don't think. So I have this board. I got 3 of these. We just put the inlay on one of them, and I got 3 of them. Like I said, they were nailed together or screwed together even with these 2 shims. It had a hook on it, and it's 2 pieces of wood together. Even if I wouldn't have wanted them as a plaque like this to hang on the wall, I could have had them taken apart and Wilson could have cut them in half and I could have painted on them. So they were worth the 68 cents. This I already painted black. I took the waltz stamp, put that on there with mixing ink, and then I used the dark and decrepit liquid patina, and then I sealed it with dark and decrepit. So now we're going to put a transfer on here. But the transfer we are using, whoops. The transfer we are using is from Winter Botanist. And I have to cut it.
Sandy says I gotta come and shop at your thrift store.
My thrift store, Sandy, my thrift store is having 25% off on Friday. And then they have a building behind the thrift store that is full of furniture, and that'll all be 25% off. Wilson, I'm not going. Honest, I'm not. Okay. So this transfer is going on here. I don't want the words to be right down the center. I want to stretch this transfer. So we're going to stretch it. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it right here. We can make these work for anything that we want. They don't have to be what they are. They have a good design, but sometimes we want to make them our own. I don't want these butterflies. I don't know that I want that one even. Okay, so now I just stretched it. Do I want it on the bottom? Maybe a little bit. And so I found two other transfers that I think will work on there. So this one I want to put on the bottom here, but I need to close this gap right here. So we're going to work on closing that gap up by adding in this branch. And it'll look like it flows right into that transfer. So now we just made it bigger to fit our whole board. And then we have the music behind it. I'm going to squish it in just a little bit. And what you can do if you don't want to forget where your placement is.
Sandy said I'd have a great time digging through there, but you'll be there.
Don't tell Wilson. All right, you can put a hinge on them. So we're going to put a hinge over there. I don't normally do this. I just go with it. And we're going to put a hinge there. And so we're going to place this one. Let's see how much we're burying. And that won't be bad because you're going to see that greenery down there. And on this side, let's put this one on the top. So how are we going to do that, right? You say? We're going to hinge it. And then we're going to fold this back. We're going to fold this back. But we're going to cut this paper. So we're only going to transfer half of it on. And it's unfortunate we're going to miss all that. That's okay. Oh, where's my little stick? I wanted to see how these transfers look on black. You know that when they have the cover of the transfer and they're on black with the cover. So they have to look okay on black, right? All right, now I'm going to cut this. So now we put half of that on and we still have half to go over here. I don't know how that's going to work. I have to cut this half off too. I have to hinge it. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to make it work. I'm going to pull that off and lay it back down, scooting it under there. And we'll get that off first. All right, let me get rid of this.
Zella says, I just joined.
Excellent. Zella? Okay. Now we're gonna, whoops, take the paper off, Connie. Oh, goodness. I just transferred it to my paper. Look at what I did. Because I took the stick and I rubbed it. I transferred it to the paper. All right, can we fix this? I doubt it. We're gonna work with it. We were putting that bird on anyway, right? He's gonna fit right over this. We're going for it. I would have been fine if I didn't put that over, if I didn't try to transfer it to the paper. I transferred it right to the paper. I didn't know that would ever work. All right, I have it in my hand. There's some of it. Wow, that was a first. That was a total first. Now we're going to remove our hinge. And we're going to put the rest on here. This is Winter Botanist. And on here, they have it on black. So it has to look okay on black, right? That's what I'm going for. I'm hoping they know what they're doing. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I didn't decide what we were going to do with the words. I think I'm going to leave them pushed over to the side over there, and I'm not going to put them back in the middle. I'm going to leave them pushed over to the side. And some of them are going to split, but that's okay. And this is going to go on here down at the bottom, so it's going to kind of even that out a little bit. This bird evens it out, so there's like a try. We're going to go. We're going to go for it. Will those words show up on black? That's the question. This is coming off so nice because I sealed it with dark and decrepit first. Which is a liquid patina. You know, if that label doesn't turn out, we could always put crackle on there, the fine line crackle. That would be interesting. Oh, it doesn't tell me. All right, we're almost done transferring that. I'm curious to see if those words show up on the black. I'm really curious. Can't tell. The rest of it looks really pretty. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Now I'm going to make sure those words are down in that crack. The words don't show up real super well, but that's okay. They're kind of more muted. And I'm okay with that.
Well, when you crackle over transfers and rice paper, what kind of crackle do you use?
I don't know if you can crackle over transfers. I've seen people that I transfer on my fingernail, transferred that pine bough to my fingernail. I don't know if you can fine line crackle over transfers. I've seen somebody try, and I think they failed. But I use the Pentart. It's the 2-step fine line crackle. So there's component 1 and component 2. My cover cracked during shipment, so I have tape on it. And then there's a clear varnish. I'm hoping that I can do that over an inlay. I don't know if you can do it over a transfer because I think it cracks the transfer. I'm not positive. I haven't tried it over rice paper. That's a great idea. We should try that. Okay, we're going to add this bird right on top of here to kind of balance out Where am I going with him? I'm going to say right there. We're going to balance out these words and that bird right there. So we're going to put him right here, making up our own design. This is IOD, but we're going with our own.
She says, okay, good to know.
But I will try that over rice paper because that you got me thinking now. I wonder if that'll work.
Sandy says they say fine line is the only one not use over transfer. It will ruin the transfer.
Oh, so you can use the other. I think there's just a crackle medium. But this one is fine line, so it has very, very fine, not crackle lines. Oh, that bird looks really sweet down there. It's got some red to bring out the red that's all over here. That's very, very pretty. So that project is done. I don't know that I want a butterfly on it. Do I want a butterfly? No butterfly. Let's read some comments because I think they're helping me with. Here we are. We're back at the beginning. Lori's from Kansas. Welcome, Lori. Susan says, hello, Connie. Can't wait to see how the croc turns out. Looking forward to meeting you in person at Sonnet's Retreat. Oh, Susan, I'm so glad. I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. And I can't wait to see my croc either. Luann says it works, just didn't get multiple uses out of the inlay. Okay, that must be the one in the liquid patina. And Sandy says, I've got to come at your thrift stores. Yes. Brenda says, Connie, your music notes are upside down. It's the way the stamp is, Brenda. I can't help it. See my lettering here and my treble clef is right side up. Some of these notes are upside down, but these ones are. I don't know. It's how IOD made it. These ones are right. Never looked at it, Brenda. Road trip to Wisconsin on Friday. All right, Sylvia. Sherry says, hi, Connie and Wilson. Aunt B says, you got some sweet deals. I know, it is good store. I want to cry when I hear those prices. Here in Connecticut, the prices are out of control. They're not here. Sandy says, I would have a great time digging through there. Bet you will be there Friday. Shh. Marla says, Sylvia, I messaged you. Sylvia, check your messages. Please hit the thumbs up button. Oh, thanks, Aunt B. And Zella says she just joined. Brenda says, well, maybe it is an upside down. I'll go get the stamp. Gert gave a couple thumbs up. Diana said, backyard brushes. Sylvia, your ghosts you made are adorable. I didn't see any ghost, Sylvia. I got to go look. And there's the transfer and crackle question. And so Wilson said, they say fine line is the only one to not use over a transfer. It will ruin the transfer. The next one says, I think you have to seal with solvent-based clear coat first. L&J Goods, has a video. Becky says, hi from Arizona. Hello, Becky. Mary Beth says, I heard not the solvent-based ones. Oh, now we have difference. You can use fine line over decoupage papers. Oh, good to know. And Gert says, very pretty on the black, DIY. DIY, Gert, you are right. Lori says, just use the butterflies on another project. Perfect, because that's what I was thinking. I agree, you're a risk taker for our benefit. Amy says, hi, everyone. We are not using butterflies. So this project is done. The only thing I have to do is seal it all in. And I will just seal it with a top coat. But it looks really good. I like it. Very subtle. Let's check on our other projects. This one is drying nicely. It's still very wet because you can still see that transfer. Like right here, it's kind of cloudy. That's the only spot it's dry. The rest of it is very dark yet. So it's getting there. I don't see any crackle yet, but we'll see. This one is still wet. I know we don't want liquid patina to dry totally. So do I peel this one off?
This is very cool.
I'm going to give it a shot of air. This would be really pretty with the fine line crackle on it. Okay, that's dry. Diana says, I like it on the black with music stamp background. Me too. Luann says, excited for tomorrow's release of your DIY papers. Yes, tomorrow, 10:30. Join me. Lisa says, loving all the projects tonight, DIY. Thank you, Lisa. And Sylvia says, thank you to Gert for her ghost. All right, let's give this a try. We're going to mist it again. And we're going to let that soak into the paper. All right, guys. I hope this works. You want to let it sit about 30 seconds or so, and then you're going to peel it off. And you're going to have nothing. Look at that. Nothing. Nada. So we're going to try this. We got nothing, guys. Don't try this at home. I'm going to go in with some more liquid patina. I'm putting it on heavy. I don't know why this isn't working. I would think it would work. But if not, then I know. So we're trying it one more time. And it's stuck in there really good. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. Let's put it off to the side. I do have a backup project here. I have a bucket, 58 cents at the thrift store, and it's got some really cool patina on it already. We are going to put this bird on there, and that bird is from Santa's Hollow. So Santa's Hollow has a bunch of fall, and they really have this cool one with the two Finchies down here. I absolutely love that one. But we're going to use this one right up here. We're going to make this side of the bucket fall. And all we're doing is just putting this transfer on here. And then I'm going to show you how to make rust. This one has a label that you have to put some words in it. I don't know what words to put in there because it's got to be pretty short.
Wilson.
Wilson. We could put tweet in there or fall, because this is kind of a fall look. So we could just put the word fall in there. Tell me, what do I put in there? This is just a bucket I got at the thrift store for 58 cents. I think it was, yeah, 58 cents. Just think if I would have got 25% off this bucket. They would have almost had to give it to me. All right, I think it's on here. Oh, he looks so good on there. Look at that on that rusty, crusty bucket. He looks really good on there. Now on this side.
Sandy says fall would be a good word.
Okay.
Amy says joy or sing.
Oh.
Lisa says Wilson's hands are the Nah, I don't think so.
On this side, we're just going to make it kind of Christmassy. So I'm going to put some red berries over here on this side. And I think this sprig was supposed to be standing in the vertical position, and I'm putting it in a horizontal position. So I found another one that matches it, and I'm just going to line it up. I wanted something over here that was a little Christmassy, so you can turn the bucket around if you want. That looks nice.
Sandy says
He does. We're making our bucket out of round. I'm pushing on it so hard. Okay, so now I'm going to finish off this stick over here. We're just adding a few more leaves and berries. He ended in just a straight stick because I think he was supposed to be in the vertical position. This bucket has some really good rust on the inside of it. Too bad it's not on the outside. I wouldn't even have to make rust. Ooh, look at that. That looks sweet. Okay, we're gonna make some rust. If you've seen my last YouTube video, you already know how to do this, but it's always fun to watch. So we're gonna use clear wax and go right over the top of the entire bucket with clear wax. And I'm just gonna do one side. It's kind of a limey green, which is really pretty. And then I have the warm DIY dust. Which you're going to stick a dry brush into the warm dust, tap a little bit of it off, and then have it kind of melt into the wax that you just put on there. And then I like to just drag it around a little bit, making some other areas kind of rusty. We have to wait for our first projects to see if our milk paint's going to be a fail. I think our other one's going to be a fail. Then once you get that kind of all smeared around there, you can tap the warm dust into some areas and it's going to look a bit like crusty powder, and then just leave it sit. And the next day you can kind of buff it off and it won't all come off. So we're going to take a paper towel and get rid of some of this. Okay, there's this side of the bucket, all rusty crusty. Maybe you can see it better this way. This side of the bucket, all rusty crusty. And this is what it looks like not. Rusty crusty, not. Look at that. That's all clear wax and warm dust. Now we're going to do the other side. You turn you back on. Oh, I can't. We got to put a word here first.
Joy sing fall.
Joy sing fall. What do we have from YouTube? So yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if that adding more liquid patina works. Seed. I have seed on YouTube. Put DIY on the label. Good choice. Fall, says Susan. Autumn, says Gert. I don't know if autumn will fit. Gert thinks it's pretty. I like the word tweet.
DIY.
Lisa thinks it's pretty. Love the rust, says Sylvia, and love that look, says Gert. Okay, well, first, guys, we need to make some brown ink because I want the word to be brown, and my brown is all dried up. So I need to take tomato. So I'm going to put the tomato ink on there, and newgrass. 50-50. And then I need to mix it up. Red and green are opposite on the color wheel, so you're making brown. When you mix paints from the opposite sides of the color wheel, you'll get a brown, a brownish gray. So I want this brown to be nice and dark. It looks pretty brown already, but it has a bit of a red tone to it. So we're going to add a couple drops of black and deepen it up. This is just a piece of plexiglass. That's all I'm working on is a piece of plexiglass. Now, it's a little black. A couple more green. That's a pretty deep brown there. Now this is the trick. So I'll see, look at how brown that is. We just need to get it onto this ink pad. And to do that, we're just going to suck it up. Suck it up, buttercup. Now our brown is in the ink pad. And then you can just wipe your piece of plexiglass back off. And your palette stick. And you just made brown. With 3 of the IOD inks. You don't need them to make a brown. We can make our own stinking brown. Then we have the apothecary labels set because it's going to be a small word. How about tweet? Then they can leave it out longer. So T W E double E and a T. I have a thin mount that's, I cut a piece off of mine that's just this tiny little strip just for this purpose. It stays right with my apothecary labels kit. Now let's make sure this is going to fit. Oh, it's going to be a tight squeeze. We're going to make it work though. Okay, here's our brown. I didn't use an F, but it looks like an F. I did use an F. Oh boy. What? What kind of word is that?
TWF.
TWF. All right, we're getting a little bit of that off of there. We're going to go right over the top. Look at the big gaps in between it too. That's crazy. All right, W is going back on and F is going back on. That's what I used.
You want to use that again?
No. We're just going to go with the E for right now. And we're going to go right over the top of the F. Fixed. I should have made these all separate. Because they have such a big space in between them. Ah. All right, tweets it is. It looks very homemade. See, I put my little thin mount right in my little packet, and then I always know where it is. Okay. Now I got to dry that a little bit. Not my ink there, though. It's time for a DIY. TWF. Sweet.
Sandy says adorable, it's perfect.
Yeah, you'd never know I screwed that up.
I see a good carpenter can find his mistakes.
Yep. Now, the thing with using a heat gun on a metal bucket and then clear wax, guess what happens? It goes on really, really well. It really melts into that bucket. And then we're going to come in with our warm dust. And add it to the top ridge. We're going to add a few lines here and there. This is just melting into it because my bucket is hot. I'm going to wipe some of that off. And then I'm going to tap the little areas back on and let them dry for the night. And then I'll buff it in the morning and some of it'll come off, but not much of it. So it's going to look a little crusty, which is exactly what you want it to look like. There we go. We have a rusty, crusty bucket for 58 cents. That project is done. Let's look at that rice paper or that milk paint inlay. And my jar, I want to ignore my jar. We're going to shoot this with a little heat gun and have a DIY. Okay, what do we got? Marla said chirp. That would have been a good one. Or Stephanie did. Sorry, Stephanie said chirp. I like that. WTF. I know it kind of seemed like that, Stephanie, but that wasn't it. Sandy likes it, and so does Lori. All right, we got to find out if this works or not, guys. I do not have any chipping on the regular milk paint. It is not chipped away, not cracked. Which that is the beauty of milk paint. It's going to do what it wants. You think you can control it, but you can't. Here's this little guy. We're going to dry him. I can't believe someone said they put it on glass and it worked. I want to know what you use to put it on glass, unless you painted your glass first. Which I can paint this little crack because it cost me, I don't remember what it was, 47 cents or something like that. All right, that's dry. Someone on YouTube told me this would work, so I'm glad we're trying it here. That made you laugh. DIY. I know. DIY. Aunt B says, thank you for another wonderful live stream. I enjoy your projects. Well, I'm glad because this one was kind of a fail tonight. One was. The other two, they were good. All right. This is as ready as it's ever going to be. It might be ready, but I'm not. Cynthia said, looks good. Thank you. Great video. You're welcome. All right, don't go yet. We have to see if this works. Don't leave me now. That might feel a little wet there. Felt a little spongy. I'm really nervous. All your fails turn into gold. Let's hope so. Luann says, I didn't paint the glass first. It was as a thick layer of liquid patina and only let it sit for about 10 minutes. Oh, so we should do that one first? It'll be great no matter how it turns out, because that's what art is. You're right, Carol. You can do it, Connie. DIY. DIY. We need a DIY before we pull that off. Let's pull off this jar first. All right, here goes nothing, guys. No, you gotta wet it, otherwise the paper won't come off. Okay. Paper's wet. "30 seconds. Here goes, guys. Absolutely nothing. So guess what it might be? I wonder if it's this croc is just that shiny, because it doesn't even feel like the liquid patina's on here. Yeah, you might. It does not even feel like there's liquid patina on it. Not at all. All right, I'll figure that one out. Now let's hope this isn't a fail. So this is a good lesson that you don't want to use your inlays on a croc with liquid patina. Now we're going to tell you, drum roll, if you can do it on milk paint. So we're going to mist it. Getting that backer nice and wet. It's making me nervous because these aren't as dark as they normally are. And now that I think about it, milk paint has a sealer in it. So I maybe shouldn't have let it dry all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get it.
Lisa said, what if we would have seen it?
Yeah, maybe. All right, we got to get this sucker wet to get it back off. Because now that I think about it, milk paint isn't like plain chocolate. Don't do this either. Oh, but it works if you can get it off. All right. We're getting this off, and it's going to be beautiful. DIY. You're not going to be able to use your inlay again.
Maybe you're getting it off.
I don't even know where I am. Okay, guys. This isn't funny anymore. This is not funny anymore. It seriously is coming off. Oh, look at it. Wow.
It's finally getting rid enough. That's coming off.
Wilson's even getting into it.
Well, you're getting. Take your time. Like peeling a sunburn.
Yeah, it is like peeling a sunburn. Okay, guys, this is really pretty, but probably not something you want to do.
I think the water's getting to it now where it's releasing.
Not really.
I ain't having no problem up here. You're just not pulling lightly and gently.
I'm not pulling at all because I can't get anything started.
I got the top for you.
You're smarty pants.
Well, you already got the bottom messed up.
No, I don't. Look at this. It is cool. Now I'm going to chip it up a little bit.
Great job, Wilson. Thank you.
Not so much Connie down here.
Looks awesome. Looks beautiful. Great job, Wilson.
Okay, guys. It does work. You probably just need to pull it a little bit sooner. So Sylvia said, WTF, I am shocked. I know. And Elisa said, what if you sand the croc? Layer of Salvation solution or acrylic spray paint first, then patina. I don't know. I don't know either. Susan said, maybe apply DIY solution that you prepped 24 hours prior. Maybe. On the croc, yes. Luann says, you got this. Oh, thanks, Joel. Sylvia said, I swear you have used the inlay and milk paint before. I have. Well, I have not. Looks awesome, says Sandy. Hi, Connie, missed the start. I didn't get notified like I always do, but I'm here now. Well, Carrie, thank you for joining. Carol says, used it on the step ladder and it worked. I had to get it super wet to peel it off. So maybe that's the problem. It's not wet enough. Plain Sweet Pickins milk paint doesn't have a sealer. Did you use a different kind? I wasn't here in the beginning and it worked. It worked. It did not. It was just regular plain milk paint. No sealer, no Ultra Grip. It's gold, yeah. It looks great, DIY. And great job, Wilson, said Sandy. Looks great, said Sylvia. Great teamwork. Great live. All right, everybody. I will get the rest of these pieces off down here. There's only a few left. But then I'm also chipping it up with my palette knife and getting some of that paint to chip off of there, and I'll do that in different places. I think this is going to be really, really cool. So yeah, it actually just, it must have sucked in there too much. Maybe if I'd have taken it off sooner. So you can do it. It looks really good. I love it on the antique ironstone. I think this looks fabulous. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. Guys, my Connie Lines and Design rice paper goes live tomorrow at 10:30. I will be live showing you what I have and why I created what I created. We'll show you the original paintings and we'll show you the rice papers. You can order from your favorite retailer. You can order from me also, but if you have a favorite retailer or somewhere where you can see them all, go to the store, check them all out. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, happy painting.